Do you think Aaron Rodgers of the Steelers potentially, do you think Aaron Rodgers had anything to do with George Pickens being moved? So Aaron Rodgers is not a Steeler. There is speculation out there. He is waiting for the schedule to drop. Aaron did not like, and by the way, Peyton Manning hated primetime games. A lot of these quarterbacks, as they get older, they get into rhythms. Kirk Cousins hated primetime games. Aaron, people are speculating, he's waiting for the schedule next Wednesday to drop, and if they don't have a ton of primetime games, and I don't think they will, then Aaron's like, I'll go to Pittsburgh. If he does it early, the NFL could manipulate the schedule. Aaron doesn't want primetime games. He wants that 1 o'clock window. A lot of these guys do. I totally get it and defend Aaron there. A lot of guys get tired of getting monkeying around. I mean, Mahomes last year, never played a normal schedule. So I will say this. I do believe Dan Rooney, the owner of the Rooney family, has said, we think Aaron's going to be a Steeler. Aaron already showed his allegiance. Hey, listen, I like the DK Metcalf guy. He's been in the league. He's great. So Aaron's shown his hand. He of the two receivers they had, he's like, I'm going to go work out with this one. Aaron has always liked effort guys at wide receiver. Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, James Jones. You don't have to be a burner. Randall Cobb, he likes dependable guys he can trust. You can't trust George Pickens. Metcalf may be high maintenance, but he plays hard. Pickens bails on routes. Now, this is also a Steeler issue. The Steelers have lost a lot. They lost Dan Moore, their left tackle, Najee Harris, Pickens, Van Jefferson, Mike Williams, both their quarterbacks. So they're the only team in the league that has lost their leading passer, leading rusher, and leading receiver from last year. But Aaron obviously is a better quarterback than the two they had. So I think they could be fine. They tend to, maybe it's Mike Tomlin, they think he can handle it. They tend to draft a lot of dramatic players. They draft and develop, they roll the dice on Le'Veon Bell, Chase Claypool, A.B., Pickens. Pickens had red flags when he was coming out of college. Deontay Johnson. Now, they bail on him. To their credit, if they think they're a pain in the butt, they'll move off him. But they have moved off a lot of highly dramatic players, and it feels like it's an exercise in futility. You keep doing the same thing over and over. You won't red flag guys that most of the league does, and you end up, getting a couple good years, but you have to bail on him. So the Steelers got a third-round pick. I think Aaron, I believe that he's waiting, and this is the speculation, he don't want primetime games. So now he's got, and he would never admit it, he's got a number one receiver. He'll have a great defense. He's obviously, there's some sort of discussion going on between Aaron and the Steelers. I don't know if there's an agreement, but I think what the sad part for the Steelers is they have become a franchise that's more interesting than they are very good. That's what they become. I think Aaron makes them very interesting. I said this yesterday. They're going to be a third-place team in the division. They're too gifted, too good of a coach, too good of a culture, too good of a defense to be fourth place, but they're not in Baltimore's league right now. They're just not. They're not good enough at quarterback. They're not in Cincinnati's league because they're not good enough at quarterback or at wide receiver. So, did Aaron have influence over this? Listen, Aaron has showed his hand multiple times on influence. He wanted McCarthy out. He wanted.
Okay. Guys, stop it. Right now it's Aaron Rodgers, why they got rid of Pickens. Can we stop? Come on. What are we saying here? People automatically, people quickly were confident that they were getting rid of him as soon as they got DK Metcalf, because they were kind of like, they can't afford to just to pay both of these wide receivers the amount of money. George Pickens is going to want a massive amount of money. So that was already the immediate speculation. And Pickens wants to be the number one wide receiver, and so does DK. So they're already kind of like, oh, this is signaling that they're moving on from George Pickens. So let's not put this on Aaron Rodgers, okay? And I don't think we have to keep trying to figure out what is Aaron Rodgers going to do. Oh, why did he not sign yet? And it's because of the scheduling and this and that. I don't want to have to just keep trying to guess and pretend like where these decisions are being made and how they're being made. If anything, I'd rather look at it through the lens of like, okay, it feels like Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What does this team look like now that they don't have Najee Harris, that they don't have Pickens, that they have DK Metcalf, that they have Aaron Rodgers? How do they shape up against the Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals, et cetera, et cetera? And I think it's fair to say, yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are still very much in the driver's seat. And it's fair to say, like, yeah, this Bengals offense should be legit. And the defense, should improve. I mean, it can only get better. It was so bad last year. So it's like, so what does that mean for the Steelers? What does an offense look like that is run and led by Aaron Rodgers? To me, this team will still come down to the defense, because I don't think this offense is going to light the league on fire. But if you give Aaron Rodgers a good enough defense and you give him, you just protect him to just at an average level, and you give him an average run game and a couple weapons that can make some plays, you're gonna win games. He's gonna be able to take care of the ball. He's not gonna put you in a position to lose games. And like they always say, you lose more games than you win. Well, with Aaron Rodgers, if you have a good enough defense and at least just enough offensively, enough, I don't want to just say weapons, but just enough pieces on offense, whether O-line, whether run game, wide receiver, whatever, you're gonna win games. Again, are you gonna light the league on fire? Are you gonna be the front runner to get to the AFC Championship game? No. Like that's just the honest truth. But you have to know that. If they were trying to go all in on this last year and they were like, hey, we're going to keep Pickens, we're going to keep DK Metcalf, we're going to do everything we can. We're going to keep Najee Harris. Like, we're going to draft a player who we believe is kind of more win now, who can make an immediate impact, like whatever it may be, then I could understand that. But like, the Steelers did not do that, right? The Steelers kind of just said like, hey, we're going to continue to be a pretty good team, right? We're avoiding being terrible, which, can hurt you technically in the long term. But I do agree, right? Like, if you do bring in Aaron Rodgers, it does make the Steelers interesting. If you run this team back, it's not really running it back, but if you put this team out and you have Mason Rudolph, and I know there's like technically Mason Rudolph could pop, right? We've seen it with other quarterbacks, but it does feel less interesting. Aaron Rodgers does bring interest. You are kind of interested to be like, what does this team look like with Aaron Rodgers, as the quarterback? But I really think this is the year that you figure out what things look like, and with the quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, and unless Aaron Rodgers is a complete disaster, if he kind of proves to be like, hey, you know what, a pretty high quality, still like a high quality quarterback, obviously not, a top 5 quarterback, but, not bottom 5 either. You see how this offense runs, and then you start to make really difficult decisions because you see, what does this team look like? And then you really say, you know what, is it time to move on? Coaching staff, coordinator, head coach, wherever, whoever's really in charge of running these drafts and really making the true decisions at the end of the day, who really has the final say, Tomlin, ownership, whoever, you go all in on drafting a quarterback, you mortgage your future, you trade up, you finally get your quarterback of the future, you try to find that quarterback who you're confident will be your quarterback for at least 10 years, right? Like, you make hard decisions. If you find a way to still win some games and get back into the playoffs again, and the offense looks pretty good, you're like, okay, right? Then you're like, you know what? We're going to keep everything here, but we got to go all in and get our quarterback. We got to get our quarterback, even if we have to just completely mortgage and sacrifice the future. It's all hands on deck. We have the core. We are a well-run team. Our problem continues to be that we just haven't been able to get a good enough quarterback to really elevate this roster, to really finally win some games. But if not, and you still come up short, and you're like, man, this roster has so many, deficits, and yeah, Aaron Rodgers can obviously still sling it, but like, what are we doing? What is the game plan here? We can't protect him, or, no one's ever open, and we rushed for 39 yards. Like, what the heck is this, right? Then it's just like, then I'm of the camp of like, just get rid of everyone. Like, really just ultimately hit the reset button. Because how many times can we do this thing, right? Where we are just kind of just going in circles. It's like, something has to change. Something has to change. Otherwise, it really is the definition of insanity. You're just going to get the same thing again and again and again. And the Steelers haven't won a playoff game in a decade, and like that's a real thing that you have to reconcile with, that you have to figure out how do we get past this. And maybe it is coaching, maybe it is quarterback, maybe it's both, maybe it's one, maybe it's the other. But use this season to really try your best to diagnose this. Now, some of that will be dependent upon, is Aaron Rodgers good enough? Can he still play? Can he be, can he act as this barometer for the Steelers to be like, hey, I'm still a pretty darn quarterback, and I can get it done offensively. I know how to run an offense, and if everything is still stagnant and not good enough, well, then it's not good enough. Then the decisions that are being made for the Pittsburgh Steelers is not good enough. Then the coaching is not good enough. Then the draft and the free agency moves are not good enough. And you got to make hard decisions. So I see this as a barometer year more than anything that really helps them dictate what are the decisions that they need to make moving forward, rather than this being a season about, we're going to make some noise, we're going to go on a run, we're going to shock the NFL. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers? How do you think this trade impacts the pursuit of Aaron Rodgers? And do you think Aaron Rodgers had anything to do with trading George Pickens? Which makes no sense to me. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.